These next poems are from a collection entitled Christ in the City. They are dedicated to each and every student I was ever blessed to work with as a tutor at Tilden Middle School and teacher at Mother of Consolation School and LaSalle Academy. You may not have known it, but each one of you was really teaching me more than you will ever know. My poetry used to be very metered and formal, always square and rhyming, boxed like me. But a year volunteering as a City Year Corps member bathed my ears and eyes in the beauty of rich African American culture and the sounds of spoken word. It was an awe-filled and beautiful language to me. I owe the development of my poetry style to them. Many of my students defied odds and struggled through hardships I could only imagine, yet they kept going, kept loving, or at least kept trying. Their strength amazed and inspired me to this day. Even those who didn't show love, I could see they did so because they had no idea how strong or beautiful they were. Perhaps no one told them. Perhaps they wouldn't believe it, scared to let that reality in. My hope and my profound thanks remain with each of them. I pray for each of them to know the beauty and gift which they are to the world, even if they have fallen and made mistakes. Nothing can efface the image within them. I pray it shines for all as it shined for me. My monastery is the city. Its streets are my cloister walks, its noise my silence, its sirens my monastery bells, its horns my request for prayer. My choir stall is a bus seat, the blocked traffic in front with its streams of red and white, my icon of his divine mercy. My divine office is the task at present, my altar, the ordinary things, my tabernacle, whoever is nearest. My vocation, to be present to Christ in all things, to find him on the bills and on the billboards, in the telemarketer and in the atheist, to find and savor his voice in that which asks of me. Your call is important to us. Please hold. To be willing to hold and wait for him. To be present to him in whatever is present. And to love whatever he wills. Flowers neglected, unplanned and unplanted, spring from rocks and broken concrete cracks and spaces. They bloom untended, fend amidst rusty fences, needles, beggars' yards, and carburetors and old junk tires. And yet they bloom. Piled among pint-sized black plastic bags and old church's chicken bones, they bloom. Fed from the juice of old trash bags, quenched with water that flows in the street, burdened with cigarette butts and crushed Rita's water ice cups, they bloom. Only once for them might the sun rise and fall, and yet for that time they are alive. There is hope, there is life, an offering in spirit and in truth, pointing to the truth of all. Image of Our Lady, rose of the shadows, help to all who want and hope and cry and wait for souls who will comply to the call of love, who will offer themselves with hearts of heaven but feet on earth, who bring the peace of the mountains to the valleys and crevices of need, and the Mount of Olives to the plains of concrete, who will bloom among the thorns and flower in the streets, who will bring the heart of need to the heart of the Father. For here are the thirsty, the broken, abandoned, and tired. Here are the hungry, lonely, and scarred. Here is the moan and call of the city, the burden of the heart of Christ. Here is where flowers are needed, to bloom untended, fend amidst rusty fences, needles, beggars' yards, and carburetors and old junk tires, and yet still bloom.